Hello everyone, I am Sonia Jia from Shri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today I am here to explain about human heart. Now let us see what is heart. Heart is a fist-sized organ that pumps blood throughout the body. It's the primary organ of circulatory system. Heart contains four main sections called chambers made up of muscles and powered by electrical impulse. In humans, the pumped blood carries oxygen and nutrients to the body while carrying metabolic waste such as carbon dioxide to the lungs. The heart is located between the lungs in the middle compartment of the chest called media. Now let us see the functions of human heart. Now let us see the function of heart. Heart's main function is to move blood throughout the body. A heart also controls the rhythm and speed of your high rate maintenance through your blood pressure. Now let us see the parts of human heart and their function. For very first right atrium, it is the upper right chamber of the heart during the normal cardiac cycle. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body. Blood from the head and upper body arrives through the superior vena cava, while blood flows from the legs and lower thoracic arrives through the inferior vena cava. Once both arteries are fully they contract and deoxygenated blood from the right atrium flows into the left ventricle through the open thoracic valve. Left atrium, the upper left chamber of the heart. During the normal cardiac cycle, the left atrium receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs through the pulmonary veins. Once both arteries are full, they contract and the oxygenated blood from the left atrium flows into the left ventricle through the open mitral valve. Superior vena cava. It is the main vein wings which brings the deoxygenated blood from the upper body part and flows through the right atrium of the heart. Inferior vena cava. It is another vein bringing deoxygenated blood from the body of the heart from the lower part of the body. It um, it empties into the right atrium of the heart. Aorta. It is central conduct from the heart of the body. The aorta carries oxygenated blood from the left ventricle to the various parts of the body as the left ventricle contracts because the large pressure produced by the left ventricle. The aorta is the largest single blood vessel in the body and it is approximately the diameter of the thumb. The aorta proceeds from the left ventricle of the heart through the chest and through the abdomen and ends by dividing into the two common iliac arteries which continue to the legs. Now let us see what is pulmonary veins. It is the only vein which carries the oxygenated blood from the body to the heart, from lungs to the heart. Now let us see what is the pulmonary valve. It is the one-way valve among the four which keeps blood moving properly through the various chambers of the heart. The pulmonary valve separates the right ventricle from the pulmonary artery. As the ventricle contracts, it opens to allow the deoxygenated blood in the right ventricle to flow the lungs. It closes as ventricle relax, preventing blood from the returning to the heart. Now let us see what is aortic valve. It is also one-way valve that keeps blood moving properly through the various chambers of the heart. The aortic valve is also called as semilunar valve. Separates the left ventricle from the aorta. As the ventricle contracts, it opens to allow the oxygenated blood collected in the left ventricle to flow throughout the body. It closes as ventricle relax, preventing blood from the returning to the heart. Valves on the human left side need to withstand much higher pressure than those on the right side. Sometimes they can wear out and leak or become thick and stiff. Mitral valve, one of the four one-way valves that keeps blood moving properly through the various chambers of the heart. The mitral valve separates the left atrium from the left ventricle. It opens to allow the oxygenated blood collected in the left atrium to that flow into the backwards to the left atrium and thereby forcing it to exit aortic valve into the aorta. The mitral valve has a tiny couch attached to the walls of the ventricles. This helps to this tiny water. This tiny couch helps to support the valve's small flaps and leaflets. Thoracic valve, one of the four one-way valve that keeps blood moving properly through the various chamber located between the right atrium and the left ventricle. The thoracic valve is the first valve which blood encounters as it enters the heart. When open, it allows the deoxygenated blood collected in the right atrium to flow into the right ventricle. It closes the right ventricle contracts, preventing blood from the flowing backwards into the right atrium, thereby forcing to exit through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery. Now let us see what is artery. atria, the two upper cardiac chambers that collect blood entering the heart and send it to the ventricles. The right atrium receives blood from the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. The left atrium receives the blood from the pulmonary veins. Unlike the ventricles, the atria serve as a collection chambers rather than a primary pumps, so they are thinner and do not have valves at the inlet. Ventricle valves, the two lower cardiac chambers that collect blood from the upper chambers and pumps it out the heart. Because the ventricle pump blood away from the heart, they have thicker walls than the atria, so that they can withstand the associated higher blood pressures. The right ventricle pumps oxygen poor blood through the pulmonary artery and through the lungs. The left ventricle pumps the oxygen rich blood through the aorta and the rest of the body. Now let us see how the heart works with other organs. The heart works with other systems to control the heart rate and other body functions. The primary systems are nervous system. The nervous system helps to control your heart rate. It sends signals that tell our heart to beat slower, resting, and faster during the rest. Endocrine system. The endocrine system sends out hormones. These hormones tell blood vessels to constrict or relax, which affects blood pressure. Hormones from your thyroid glands can also tell your heart to beat faster and let us see the heart's autonomy. The parts of heart are like parts of houses. Heart has walls, chambers, valves, blood vessels, electric conduction system. Heart walls are the muscles that contract and relax to send blood throughout body. A layer of muscular tissue called as septum divides your heart walls into the left and right sides. Have three layers. There is endocardium, it is an inner layer, myocardium, middle layer, epicardium. It is the protective outer layer. As I said, heart is divided into four chambers. You have two chambers on the top atrium, pulpar arteria, and down two on the bottom ventricles, one on each side of the heart. Right atrium. Two large veins deliver oxygen poor blood to the right atrium. The superior vena cava carries blood from the upper body. The inferior vena cava brings blood from the lower body. The right atrium pumps the blood to the right ventricle. The right ventricle is the lowest right chamber, pumps the oxygen poor blood to lungs to the pulmonary artery. Lungs reload the blood with oxygen. Left atrium. After the lungs fill blood with oxygen, the pulmonary veins carry the blood to the left atrium. The upper chamber pumps the blood to the left ventricle. The left ventricle is slightly larger than the right. It pumps the rich oxygen to the rest of our body. Now let us see the heart valves. Heart valves are like doors between the heart chambers. They open and close to allow blood to the body. The atrioventricular valves open between your upper and lower heart chambers. They include tricuspid valve, mitral valve, aortic valve, and pulmonary valve. Tricuspid valve is one-way valve which opens door between the right atrium and left ventricle. Mitral valve. It is also a door between left atrium and left ventricle. It is also known as semilunar valve. Open when blood flows out of ventricles. And aortic valve opens when blood flows out of the left ventricle to your aorta, or artery that carries oxygen-rich blood to your body. Pulmonary valve opens when blood flows through from the right ventricle pulmonary arteries to the pulmonary arteries, the only arteries that carry oxygen-poor blood from your lungs. Now let us see the conditions and disorders affecting the human heart. Heart conditions are among the most common type of disorders affecting people in the United States. Heart diseases is the leading cause of the death for people of all genders and most ethnic day and racial groups. Common conditions that affect your heart include atrial fibrillation. It is an irregular electric impulse in a atrium. Arrhythmia, a heart that is too fast, too slow, or beats with an irregular rhythm. Cardiomyopathy, in an unusual thickening, enlargement, or stiffening of heart muscle. Congestive heart failure, when heart is too stiff or too weak to properly pump blood through your body. Coronary artery disease, plaque buildup that leads to narrow coronary arteries. Heart attack, a sudden coronary artery blockage that cuts of oxygen to the part of our heart. Muscle pericarditis, inflammation in our heart's lining pericardium. Thank you for watching. Please like and share.